I want to be in that number. What's up? It's your boy H.S. Arnold here, back at you again with another episode, another podcast. I believe this is podcast episode number 8. And so I'm very, very excited that this train don't stop moving, man. This is a locomotive. Get out the way. You dig? So we're going to keep going. But anyway, man, I'm thinking about when I said I want to be in that number, that reminded me of my great-grandfather, Ned, and he was such a passionate Christian. And one thing he would do when he would get excited, right, when he would get in the spirit, feel the spirit, as they would say, he would kick up his leg and just say he wanted to be in that number. And of course, for him, that meant just being saved and knowing what he believed in terms of Jesus Christ. And having Jesus Christ as center of his heart. When I said, I take what he said, but I want to build on that, and it's a spiritual thing that could, sometimes we got to look at what our ancestors left us, what they passed down to us. And so, for me, I would certainly look at the passion and the focus on being spiritual. I think that's very, very important. That was passed down. My mother's that way. My family members are that way. And I feel like I am that way as well. And that being spiritual is certainly a foundation of a life. Without it, I don't know where I would be at. So for me, it means being aware, self-aware, being conscious, understanding who you are in the grand scheme of things. What role do you play? Understanding that, we are all one and the same. Understanding that when I look at that tree is me. I am that tree. When I breathe in the air, I am the air is me. There's nothing that's different. Everything is interconnected. Everything is. Okay? And so those of you that understand, you understand. All right? So, without further ado, first of all, let me put this disclaimer out. I am not a doctor. Please consult with your primary care physician. If you decide to make some changes, please make sure you talk with them about that. Also, again, this is Ancient Arnold. This is where we discuss all things herbs, all things alternative health. Doesn't matter what it is, we're going to talk about it, people. So let's go ahead and get this thing going. Herb of the week. This week, we're going to talk a little bit about lemon balm. I myself take lemon balm from time to time to help relieve my anxiety, to help me relax. Sometimes I take it before I go to bed. It helps me relax. And, probably within an hour or so, I'm ready to go ahead and conk out. You dig? So I love it. Let's talk a little bit about some of the ingredients. It has flavonoids, it has vitamin C and E in it, phenolic acids. So it's some great things in here that would help you. It's an antiviral, antidepressant, carminative, diaphoretic. Carminatives kind of help you if you have some stomach issues, some bloating, like some gas, nausea, some digestive disturbances. So carminative is good for that. When I say diaphoretic, I'm saying like it helps with like fevers. So it's really good with children as well. They help out when you have fevers, and in adults too. When you have fevers, it's really good as a diaphoretic. So one quick note: it says in ancient Greece, lemon balm was thought to strengthen the mind, and students wore sprigs of lemon balm in their hair as they studied. So you remember seeing the little sprigs coming out, the little leaves coming out of the little what do you call those things they wore on the head? I don't even know what those things were. But they wore it in their hair or around their head because they thought that, man, this is protective of the mind, that it means intelligence, and mainly because it calms you, it relaxes you. So I think that's good. So it can relieve nervousness, stress-induced headaches. It's a mild sedatives and it improves sleep. It's antiviral, so that's very important. Relieves symptoms that may be attributed to some viruses, including herpes. Let's see here, a mild antidepressant. So I find that when I use this with St. John's wort, works really, really well. For some reason, they're very synergistic. So you want to look at, if you do have like anxiety issues or even some slight mild depression issues, you want to look at that. Go back and listen to my St. John's wort podcast. Let's see, GI disturbances, really good for that. I usually take about 300 to 400 milligrams about 2 or 3 times a day. If I really have an anxious day, where I really need to relax. I'll take it about 3 times a day. I more consistently take it at night when I want to relax and go to sleep. So I just take a 300 milligram pill. It'll help me relax and I can go on to sleep. So it's good for that. Okay. So I think that's it with lemon balm. So that's lemon balm for you. Man, you know what? This is good here. What do you have in your green drink today? I think I'll start a segment like that. What do you have in your green drink today? Well, I'm glad you asked. Well, today, my fiance, she hooked me up. Today, I got a little banana. I got some spinach and some kale. I got a little orange juice in this thing. Some strawberries, some mangoes. I mean, this is fire. It's good. So, that's good. Make sure you get your green juice in here, all right? So anyway, today I wanted to talk about alkalizing the body. Alkalizing the body, chronic issues, people that struggle with chronic issues, I believe have low-grade acidosis in the body. What does that mean? That means that if you look at the pH scale it goes from 0 to 14, that 7 being neutral, that and mind you, different body parts have a different pH level. When I say pH, I'm talking about potential hydrogen. So different body parts, organs have a different pH level, but the blood needs to be slightly alkaline. And when the blood is not at around 7.4, has a pH of about 7.4, you're inviting a myriad of issues into your body. This is where chronic issues start to show their ugly head. So you got chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, you got sinusitis, you got hypertension, heart problems, kidney problems, liver problems, you name it, rheumatoid arthritis. There's just so many different diseases that begin to show up when your blood is not as alkaline as it needs to be. So what are some things that we can do to fix that? And so let's just look at a couple of things. I want to just talk about the top 3 things you can do. 3 things you can do to begin to alkalize the body. Because I myself, which is why I have this green drink here, focus on alkalizing my body. So what does that mean? I consume food. So let's do number 1, nutrition. Number 1 is nutrition in terms of alkalizing the body. So the foods that I eat, I want to make sure that 80% of the foods that I eat are alkalizing. That they have that when, and again, because some people misunderstand that. So for instance, we're talking about lemons, limes, even something like ACV. It may seem acidic going into the body, but the way your body metabolizes it, it has more of an alkalinity or alkalining effect in the body. So this is a lot bunch of fruit and some green vegetables in here, right? The reality is the fruit, when I metabolize it, is alkalizing. It's alkalizing to the body. What does that do for me? It gets the nutrients that my blood needs. My blood pulls the nutrients. My body pulls the nutrients from that and puts it into the blood to allow my blood to operate at its optimal level, which is about 7.4. Okay, that blood flows to the body, allows my kidneys to function better, my heart to function better, my liver to function, my brain to function better, all the above. So it's just so important to make sure that we alkalize the body. When I started to adopt this, I had noticed within a few days the difference with my energy levels, with my just my processing, the way my brain operated, which that's very important to me. Alkalizing the body. So number 1, you want to make sure you pay attention to nutrition. And when I say nutrition, the optimal diet for human beings, the optimal diet is fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. I'm the firm belief that we are frugivores, that we do better primarily on fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, and primarily on fruits. And so, and when you think about most of those things, with the exception of hybrid vegetables and fruits, like say carrots, your body does pretty well. So you want to make sure that every time you sit down to eat, that you have foods that are more alkalizing. That when you look at your plate, that 80% of that plate is alkalizing foods. You got more vegetables and fruits. I don't believe in meats. I know people. I'm not judging anybody to eat meats. I just think that we do better. We function better as human beings when we are not eating meats. I think that the way we eat has a large impact on the way we see society, the way we see the world, the way we see ourselves. And so I think we should be careful about what we eat, even from a spiritual perspective. But lots of meats are I don't know if there is one meat that's not acidic, to be honest with you. And I mean, on the pH scale, it's very acidic. And that means the way your body metabolizes it. I mean, chicken, I mean, beef, I mean, pork, I mean, dairy products, cow pus. I mean, just call it what it is, people. Cow pus, cow snot. That's what it is, people. So that has a negative impact on your body because it's acidic, and your pH balance. So when your blood is not at a 7.4 or around that, what happens is your blood starts to pull from your bones. This is why people start to develop osteoporosis and all that. Your blood starts to pull from organs, other parts of the body to get what it needs. It pulls from the muscles to get what it needs. It'll pull glutamine from the muscles. It will pull magnesium and calcium from the body, calcium from the bones. It's going to pull these things because it's those minerals have an alkalizing effect on the blood. So when it can't get it, it will find it within your body, which starts these chronic issues. So I hope that makes sense to people. Okay, so number one, we're talking about nutrition. Make sure that you're eating the proper foods to alkalize the body. So alkalizing the body. Okay. Number two, the fluids that you drink. Right? Me personally, spring water, alkaline water. That's it. Spring water, alkaline water. In terms of the waters I drink, I don't drink tap water. This is something I need to do better at, but water in the bottle. You need to be careful about having water in your bottle because it's absorbing chemicals from water and plastic. I'm sorry. I don't know what I said. Water in the bottle. I don't know. It's absorbing chemicals from the plastic. So we have to be careful with that. So that kind of water, because it has a strong pH, spring water and alkaline water. Also, you see my fruits and vegetables. That's what you see me drinking, fruits and vegetables, because it just refreshes my body. When you eat more vegetables, if your green smoothies, your drinks are leaning more toward vegetables, it has more of a cleansing effect on the body. So kale and spinach and all that, it'll have a cleansing effect on the body. When you're eating more fruits or drinking more fruit juices, it's going to have more of an energetic effect on your body. So you can't fail with both of them. What I do is I combine them. Simple as that. All right. Drink break. And last but not least, so that was number two. Number one, nutrition. Number two, fluids and drinks. And number three, herbs. Herbs. You want to make sure you have alkalizing herbs. I was going to show you guys what I have in here. I got herbs all over the place. I'm actually planting some herbs here around. You can't see it back there, but it's against my window sill over there. But, herbs all around me. Herbs are my world. And so, every day to cleanse my blood when I'm detoxing, currently I'm detoxing. So to cleanse my blood, or what I'm taking is certain types of herbs. These herbs are alkalizing, like, say, burdock root. They have an alkalizing effect on the body. And so I take those herbs because they serve more medicinal purposes. Some of these herbs clean out my organs, like my kidney and my liver. Some of these herbs help with purifying or cleansing the blood. And so I have a combination of herbs or a formula of herbs that I take with alkalizing foods and drinks to make sure that I keep my body functioning at an optimal level. It's just that simple. So number one, nutrition. Number two, the drinks, what you're drinking. And number three, you can give your body a boost by giving it some herbs. And make no mistake about it, people, your body knows how to heal itself. Your body knows, look, Mother Nature did not make a mistake. God did not make a mistake when he created us. When he or she created us. I don't even want to say he, but when the spirit created us, when the universe created us, right? There were no mistakes made. Everything we need, we already have. The problem is, do we live in accordance with nature or do we fight against it? And one way you know you're fighting against it is when you're just replete with diseases, chronic issues, all these diseases that plague us. And we're not even talking about the emotional and other spiritual issues that we have. But what that means is that we are fighting against our natural selves. When you fight against what you see out there, Mother Nature, you're fighting against yourself. Mother Nature has provided us with the foods that we need to function at optimal levels for our bodies to be healed. But unfortunately, we think we know better. And as a result of thinking we know better, we pay the price for that. So let's get back to nature. Let nature wrap her loving arms around us, right? And so let's live in accordance with what has been provided for us, what has been provided. Fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds. Make sure that's a primary staple in your diet. Make it a lifestyle, okay? So I hope that gives you some key principle or foundational things you can use to alkalize the body. Again, I talked about the nutrition. I talked about fluids or the drinks that we take into our body. And I talk about the herbs as well, how alkalizing herbs. And I'll have another segment on certain types of herbs that are alkalizing. Again, one of my favorites being burdock root. That was one of Sebi's favorites as well. Dr. Sebi, burdock root, yellow dot. So all those are very, very important. So I'll get into those at a different time where we can kind of highlight some of those herbs. But anyway, needed that. So I hope that this helped you guys. This is your boy Anxious Arnold here, and I don't even know what the hell I'm gonna talk about next week. You know why? Because I play this thing by ear. I function better when I just kind of let it come to me rather than trying to plan it out. That's just me. So anyway, I don't even know what the hell, but we'll be here next week. We're gonna keep it going, and I hope you tune in next week as well. Again, this is Ancient Arnold's, and not Ancient Arnold's, but Ancient Arnold. And until next time, people, keep your health up. Peace.